introduction. That's what we have to go through. But I'm actually here. Why are you looking at me?
Just gotta make sure I feel that juice voice, that juice right there. You feel that?
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're gonna need some water. We're gonna be talking.
Hi, my loves. It's your girl Shantes, also known as withloveshantes on Instagram. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I have my friend here, Decoye.
Nice to meet everybody.
He does have a YouTube that is coming soon.
John Lord, aka John Lord the Slum Lord. Don't ever forget it.
Okay. If you haven't already, go ahead and pause the video if you need to, so that you can go ahead and subscribe to my channel and turn on your bell notification so that you can be updated whenever I post a new video. As you can see, I have my army hat here because we are shooting a video about tips and tricks about the military, our own personal life experiences for anybody who's thinking of enlisting or going the officer route in the military. So if that's something that interests you, be sure to stay tuned. So first, let me just give you a little brief background regarding myself. Of course, you know, my name is Shantes. In the military, though, we go by last name. So I am Captain Baxter. I've been in the military for a total of 11 years. I actually came in enlisted and then decided to do ROTC. I am a 42 Bravo, which is an adjutant general is my branch, or human resource officer. So yeah.
All right, and I'm Decoye. AKA Captain Moore. I'm a captain as well. I've been in about 8 years. I went straight into college. I went to Tuskegee, hence the hat. And I am a 12 Alpha, which is an engineer, the hardest branch and the best branch. So yeah, and the military
He's biased.
The military has been awesome for me. I don't know about you, you paper pusher.
So those of you who've considered joining the military, or you think that it may be something that you're interested in, these are the things that you need to consider beforehand. So the first thing that I would say would be to do your research. And I know people have stated this before, if you heard that, but it's very, very important before signing your name on the dotted line. So what I mean by doing your research is talk to veterans, talk to other people that you know that are already in the military, talk about their experiences, the pros and cons with that. Also look up like the job, for example, your branch or MOS that you're interested in doing, so that you have insight on whether or not that's something that you really want to spend your life doing. Of course, there are several different components. You can decide whether you want to be National Guard, active duty, or reservist. Those are very important things to consider as well. What would you say?
I would say for those that want to make a career out of it, you definitely want to go the active route. There's multiple ways to go that way. If you want to have the Army in your back pocket and also have your own career, definitely the reserves or National Guard. But the options are unlimited. There's so much you can do with the Army. It's just what you make it. All right, sorry y'all, I'm old and I need to sit down. I apologize.
You ain't got to make this down, you need. The next thing we're gonna just do, so we're gonna just tell you a little bit about our own personal experiences with joining the military. So I'll go first. Like I said, I decided to enlist. Now, my family was against me joining the military. I'll just be straight up. They did not want me to join. At the time, I was a freshman in college. It was the second semester. And the issue was I needed money for school. Like, and at the time, it was like I couldn't get any additional financial aid because of like my daddy's salary. They wouldn't allow us but to get a certain amount. I took out as many private loans as I could, but again, I still needed a way to pay for college. So my boyfriend at the time told me that he was gonna go and join the Guard. I thought he was crazy. But after he talked to me, he was just like, no, they're gonna pay this much, that much, blah, blah, blah. I started thinking, I said, okay, well, I'm glad to die. So, all right, then, let's go do this.
Always do them all.
So we went and talked to the recruiter, and yeah, I decided to join. Now, like I said, it's very important to do your research and to note that if it's not in black and white, you ain't getting it. These recruiters can promise you the world. They can tell you, oh, you're gonna get stationed here, oh, you're gonna get this job, you're gonna get that. But unless it's in black and white and it's in your contract, it is not guaranteed. So a couple things I was told, you know, that sold me was, oh, well, we're gonna pay up to $50,000 of your student loan. So me, I'm like, okay, bet. Bet. What he felt they were telling me was they're gonna pay up to $50,000 of the student loan debt that you have prior to joining. So that's another thing to consider. If you're already in college and you want to have your student loans forgiven, wait until you get ready to graduate, because they only end up paying back my first year of college. And I was just taking out student loans after that so I could ball my refund checks. Now I got a debt. Another thing that determines what is actually going to happen, like with your MOS, is your ASVAB. So the ASVAB is basically a placement test, an aptitude test that you have to take, and it's really important to take it seriously. Because again, if there's a particular job that you're interested in getting, if you don't have a high enough ASVAB score, you ain't getting that job. So
they're gonna be cooking food.
don't talk about the cooks. We need to cook. So yes, that's another thing. So again, I ended up going into the military on the buddy system. That's what they had, and this is back in 2009, so things have changed since then. I went in on the buddy system. Me and my ex got to go to basic together. We actually did split training because we were in college, so we went to basic one summer, and then we went to AIT the next summer. AIT is advanced individual training, which is basically you performing your job or learning about what job you're going to do. So did that. It was very much so a culture shock. I wasn't used to not having any type of privacy. I got there, the drill sergeants were yelling at me, calling me princess, and it was just being so mean. Mind you, I'm cool with my drill sergeants now. Like, we Facebook friends or whatever, but then they was just so mean and stuff because they was just like, oh, look at the pretty princess. Oh, you want to go to the beach? So they took me to the beach, which is the sand pit. And we had to, yes. And we low crawling in the sand. They said, you wanted to go to the beach, right? But yeah, so that was my experience. And I can go into more about basic training in a second. Why did you join?
All right, so like some of you that didn't have any other options, my father forced me to join, and it was quite a traumatic experience for me. Granted, the saving grace that I had was I was kind of smart in high school, so he took me to a recruiter. They saw my SAT scores, and at the time, I don't know how it is now, but I qualified for a full ride to Tuskegee University.
You was smart.
Yeah,
you was kind and you was important.
That's right. Cool nerd, don't ever forget it. So, so you know, once he saw my SAT scores, instantly, like the next day, I was signing on the dotted line, going to Tuskegee full ride. So basically, I did the ROTC program, and the thing that I want to let people know about that is grades. Keep your grades up, or they will take that scholarship away. And I had got a rude awakening in my first semester because I was partying like a crazy person, and my grades fell, and I had to pay for my next semester. Of course, I got my grades back up, and I was able to do to graduate and commission. But the thing about ROTC, you just have to learn how to balance college life and Army life. So boom, that's it. I did ROTC, and then here I am, ready to commission. The most intense day of your life. So basically, long story short, I went to ROTC to get active duty. At the time I got in the Army, there was a cutback, and I ended up getting the news that I was going to be in the reserves. They gave you the choice between National Guard and reserves. I chose the reserves. I cried that day. All right, I'm still sad. Okay, and boom. Now I'm in the Army. I'm a real boy now. And I'm ready for anything.
So my reserve life was a little bit different. Again, like I said, I came into the military enlisted. I came in as an E2, and I worked my way up based off of education. I decided to commission, not necessarily just because I wanted to be an officer at the time, but because this is another thing my recruiter lied to me about. My recruiter told me that as long as I was in college, I could not deploy. He lied. So, again, just similar to him, I went into the National Guard because I didn't want to go active duty, and I was still in college at the time. So my unit was deploying, and they told me I had to go, right? And so I said, nah, I don't want to go. I want to finish school. So I talked to my mom about it. I was just like, listen, I only got two options. Either I get pregnant so I can stay home, or I'll join ROTC. She said, well, I guess you joined an ROTC, so that's what I did.
Okay.
So my daughter came later.
Basically, I show up to my unit, scared, got a little butter bar on my chest, don't know what to do, and meet a few buddies. And basically, I'm in the reserves, and it becomes routine. It's real cool. Once a month, you go in for a weekend, you drill, that's what they call it, and you do your job. Of course, I'm a 12 Alpha, so I was in a bridging unit where we worked on bridges, which is primarily float bridges and some dry land bridges. And I drilled, did ATs. You do ATs 2 weeks out the year, and you do your job, you do a mission. It's fun, you go, probably anywhere. It's not that fun, I'm just talking shit. It's not fun, it's horrible. It's really horrible. But you do that, and then that's what a year looks like. A weekend out the month, 2 weeks out the year. And that's the reserve life in a nutshell.
Unlike Decoye, I wanted to stay in the Guard because, again, I wasn't about that active duty life, right? I was just like, I'll just do my weekends. I'll do my 2 weeks out the year. So that was me for about 8 years, right? And then I decided I wanted to be in the National Guard anymore. So I went into the IR, which is the Inactive Ready Reserve. After that, I ended up making a transition into going into the reserves. Pretty much the difference is the National Guard is specific to the state that you're in. You can get activated if there were like state emergencies and things like that. Whereas in the reserves, you fall underneath the federal government. So you're not contained to one particular state. You can switch units wherever. It's more free. So I decided to go into the reserves, and I've been here since then.
Be sure to tune in next week to see part 2 of this video.